A home filled with love is built in the quiet moments. A mother gently brushing her daughter's hair, teaching her care, patience, and kindness. The small things that shape a child's heart long before the world ever sees her grow. A faithful husband treasures the moments God gives him. A night beside his wife, laughter shared in a quiet theater, hands joined, hearts at peace. The kind of love a man protects, honors, and thanks the Lord for every single day. A faithful man learns that love is not only proven in laughter and warm nights at the movies. It is proven in the frightening moments when an ambulance rushes through the night and fear tries to creep into the heart. He holds her hand and feels how fragile life can be. Yet he refuses to let go because covenant love does not run when the storm comes. It stands, it waits, it prays, and deep in his soul, he remembers the promises of God. So he bows his head in prayer, not as a weak man, but as a warrior of faith, asking the Lord for strength, asking the Lord for mercy, asking the Lord to breathe life and hope into the woman he vowed to love all the days of his life. Because a devoted husband does not walk away in the valley, he stands guard there, believing that the same God who blessed their laughter will also carry them through the fire, until light breaks through the darkness again. The house that once echoed with laughter now feels painfully quiet. The bed feels too large, the silence too heavy, and a man who once stood strong for everyone else now sits alone with grief pressing against his chest. The weight of grief finally breaks a man to his knees. Heaven is not distant, and in that quiet place of prayer, a grieving man discovers he is not standing in the valley alone, yet even in the darkest room, a faithful man still turns his heart toward God, because when everything else feels like it is falling apart, the promise of God speaks into that broken moment. The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34-18. And in that moment a grieving man realizes that even in the darkness, even in the silence, even in the pain he never expected to carry, the Lord himself is standing close, holding together the pieces of a heart that feels shattered. In a quiet room where the world feels different now, a little girl bows her head and folds her small hands. She does not understand all the pain or the silence that has settled over the house, but she remembers the faith her parents lived, the prayers they once prayed, and the God they trusted with all their hearts. So with childlike faith she whispers her own prayer, and heaven listens, because the same God who is comforting her father now watches over her, surrounding her with his light, guarding her heart, and holding her future in his hands. A devoted mother once stood behind that chair brushing her daughter's hair, speaking gentle words, teaching quiet prayers, planting faith into a young heart day after day. And even though her voice is no longer heard in the room, the seeds she planted are still alive, because the Word of God remains, and the faith a mother planted continues to guide her child forward, carried by the promises of God and the love that never fades. And through every moment, every tear, every prayer whispered in the quiet, the promise of God still stands over that home and over that child, because the faith her parents planted will continue to guide her steps long after the hardest days have passed. In the middle of sorrow, a father remembers that love did not end with loss, so he gathers his daughter close and takes her out into the world again. Laughter slowly returns between them. A movie, a shared bucket of popcorn, a moment where a little girl laughs freely and a father smiles through the ache. because the strength of a faithful man is not that he never breaks, it is that he keeps showing up for the child who still needs his love, still needs his guidance, and still needs the faith he promised to lead her with every day of her life. Train up a child in the way she should go, and when she is old, she will not depart from it. Proverbs 22:6.